Hey guys, welcome back to the Mighty PHI Games and History, and today we are doing a comic book review. So this is all of the hottest comics according to Go Collect from April 14th, 2020. So yeah. Usually I'll start, with all the comics and everything I'm reviewing, but today we're not doing that because that little snippet of 30 seconds puts a lot of stress on my tablet trying to compile the video together, and it just takes forever. The editing thing crashes, goes nuts, and yeah. So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just going straight to this, do this, then go review the comics. If that sounds okay. It's a new thing. So, how this works, I have a stack of comic books that I've either read or my mom has read and has given them back to me. She is the one that buys me all my comics, so that's why I give her my comic books to read, because she buys them. I might as well read them. Have her read them, because I'm only going to probably read them like once or twice in my whole lifetime. So, then we, I have a thing, so I can't pronounce my R's right. So if I say, like, let's just say I say wood, and it sounds, wood, and it sounds like this, it sounds like where the R should be. It sounds like a W-ish kind of thing. This probably should be an R in there. There's a word that should have an R in it, but it sounds like a W. Yep, there should be an R in that. Sometimes it happens with my L's too. Like the letter L. So let's get started. So our number one comic for this week, well, next 2 weeks, I guess, is Amazing Spider-Man number 300. This is the first full appearance of Venom. First issue inked by Todd McFarlane, the guy who created Spawn, if you don't know, I think. And Spider-Man's 25th anniversary appearance. I have a friend who actually has this comic book, and it's written in Polish, because he's like 100% like 50% Polish. So yeah. So yeah, this, like, I've noticed, like, we've been doing, every time I do this, I have like the same comics every week. It feels like this top 10. It just never changes. Except this week, that some kind of came out, some new, but there's really nothing new. Next, we have Spawn number 1, first appearance of Spawn. Yeah. Next, we have Spider-Man number 361. This is the first appearance of Carnage. Yeah, that's Carnage. Next, we have The Secret Wars number 8. First appearance of this Spider-Man symbiote slash black costume. Then we have the Eternals. Surprisingly, like, Eternals, like a year ago, I had no idea who they were until now. Now everyone wants, like, the Eternals. Well, this is a Jack Kirby too, but coming out with a movie. So this is the first appearance of the Eternals. Jack Kirby did the Eternals, and it's because they announced a movie that's coming out, and I'm also kind of excited that they announced a Ghost Rider movie. And he's one of my favorite Marvel superheroes. But sadly, the comic book store that I go to, like, right after they announced it, I go there. All the Ghost Rider comic books are gone, and I'm like, what? Like all, like version 1, which I do have one that we're going to review today, talk about today. Next is a new one, I think. Yeah, this is Nova number 1. I've noticed something. This is all Marvel. Like, I haven't seen a DC in the hottest comics in, like, forever, mostly because all the DC comics that are with something are just with a lot and not many all around. Like survived the 50s. 50s was like the dark ages of comics. They burned a lot of them. yeah, it was crazy time. So a lot of those DC comics never survived. Okay. Next we have number 7 is the New Mutants. Number 98, first appearance of Deadpool. And yeah, the Wolverine number 1. That's just a very iconic cover in the first place. It's his first comic book series. Then this was on here once before. It's the Uncanny X-Men number 266, first appearance of Gambit. And then we have the Venom Lethal Protector. It's been on here every week. Its first appearance of, well, first Venom titled series appearance. So we also like to do in the Bronze Age right now, the hottest comics. And it's loading. Okay. What the heck? Okay, that's weird. Pretty much everything just listed. In the modern age, it's all. Actually, no, I'll be right back. I'm technical difficulties. Okay, we're fine now. So, in the Silver Age, number 1 for today is a Fantastic Four. Number 48. So, is it fine when I say Fantastic Four? Or say FF? Is that just it's a comic book, so I say it's the FF. Fantastic Four. I'm just gonna say that. That's the first appearance of Silver Surfer in Galactus. And then we have FF number 52, first appearance of the Black Panther in the Negative Zone. Then we have Amazing Spider-Man number 50, first appearance of the Kingpin. Then FF number 49. I don't know why it just doesn't say anything. Spider-Man number 14, first appearance of Green Goblin. They have a Silver Surfer. Number 1. It's the first self-titled series. Then, well, we have FF number 45, first appearance of the Inhumans. And then number 8, Captain America 100, first Silver Age self-titled series. Death of Franz Gruber. Said that right. Then we have Silver Surfer number 4, first time Silver Surfer meets Thor in first battle with Thor. Our last one for today is FF number 67, first brief appearance of him. That's it. Then in our golden age, we have Batman number 24. Superman number 2, second self-titled issue. And number 3, Action Comics number 22. Number 4, Superman number 4. Then number 5, Batman number 3, first appearance of Catwoman in costume, and first appearance of the Puppet Master. Number 6, Batman number 11, classic Joker cover by Ray/Robinson, third Joker cover, Joker appearance, Penguin appearance. Batman number 19. Next we have Mad number 1, first issue in self-titled series. Then we have Superman number 1. That almost goes for $1 million. First self-titled series for Superman. First self-titled series for a comic book superhero ever. Then at number 10, you have Captain America Comics number 1. You have the origin of Captain America and Bucky. First appearance of Captain America and Bucky. And it has the famous picture, if I remember. It's the famous one of Captain America punching Hitler. So that's kind of the hottest comics for this week, I guess. Not much has changed whatsoever, so now let's start reviewing some comics. Yeah. or talk pretty good, because every time I do that, I always seem that I talk pretty fast when I do that. But yeah, so these are the comic books this week. We got a good batch of them, and yeah, let's get started. Now, our first one is Tales to Astonish, number 60, and this is the first. Well, according to my friend, which I talked about earlier in the video, this is I think he said this is the first appearance of Hulk in Tales to Astonish. And, so at the time, Tales to Astonish was basically kind of Giant Man / Ant-Man series kind of thing. And every once in a while, have someone join. But, so I heard my brother coming, so I thought he was going to open my door and just totally ruin the video like he does almost every time. So, yeah. Sorry about that pause. Sorry, I thought I heard him at the door again. Yeah. So this came out, I actually, there's a little thing in the back, came out in 1964. Well, that's when the Giant Man and Hulk stories began. So I got this for reasonable, about $20 at the comic book store I go to. It's probably the best. I say it's the best in Nebraska. If you didn't know, it's from Nebraska. Like, if you watch my other videos, it's kind of obvious at the beginning. Like, yeah. So Hulk, he fights in the Hulk story, I don't know why I'm saying Hulk. He fights a robot which is indestructible, that Bruce Banner created, and then Giant Man, his friend, gets trapped over in East Germany, and so he goes over and breaks them out. But at the exact same time, he fights guerrillas who've been mind controlled by the Soviets. So yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, so they're both really good. This is a good comic book. And with Marvel, for most Marvel comics, for most of them, this is like reasonable prices kind of thing. Like the earlier ones. Like the first Giant Mans and stuff, and Ant-Mans, like Iron Mans, they're still pretty, reasonable. Like DC, because all the superheroes are so old that the comic book is mostly, it's pretty expensive, mostly because of how old the comic book is. But these about almost 50, couple turning 60 in a couple years, still, in the reasonable price of less than $50 kind of thing. And, and those just the bad copies, for me, I'm more I don't care if what shape it's in, and at least I have it kind of thing. And plus the ones that are in worse, in bad shape, are cheaper too. So yeah. So I'll give this comic book a 5. Okay, so this is the example of the one I was saying. So this, there's not much violence. I don't like the blood and the gore kind of stuff in the newer comics kind of thing, so that's why I liked it. But this one was interesting. This is a very interesting one. So let me pause the video. I'll take it out of the plastic. What's so interesting in this one? So it starts, you start reading it, kind of thing. But then right at the middle of the comic book, the fighting starts. I like this kind of stuff. It's just fight action, but no gore. But then at the middle of the comic book, it flips over. And what's cool is, on the other side, it's this same thing on both sides. But now you get Miss Marvel's side of the story. And so now it's her side of the story. And, okay, yeah. Okay, stay in soapbox. So I have a lot of old Marvel comics. And so I always try to find it, but I can never find it in the comic books. I don't know why, I can never find it. It's just weird. But, so then it starts from her side of the story, until the fighting starts, kind of thing, and then look, go back to Spider-Man, kind of thing. So yeah, so I thought that was kind of like interesting and different. So I like this one. So I'll give this one a 5-star. Okay, so this is Batman number 181 reprint, and so what's kind of I think popular right now is reprints. Like, Marvel has been doing reprints, and now DC just kind of started. And you can tell because it says $3.39, well, $3.99, no, $3.99, because this did not cost about $4 back then. It was like only 5-10 cents. So that's where you kind of figure that out. Okay. So if you don't know, this is a reprint of the first appearance of Poison Ivy. So this one was it was a weird comic, and I say that because of I'll just show it to you. Well, what's weird is that this mechanic is kind of weird because Poison Ivy writes a letter to like the top women bad guys, which nice have pretty crazy costumes, kind of thing, and so then she gets arrested, but then she kisses Batman, which is not that surprising, but yeah, that's the only part I'm like, okay, you don't really need that in there, what I'm talking about. But so overall, this was a pretty okay comic, and I'll give this a 4. And so I've only seen an original of these once. I was so there's a hotel in the city I live in, and every once in a while, maybe a couple times a year, they have those meeting rooms. Like almost every hotel, I think it's like a Comfort Inn or something. Every one of those hotels has like a meeting room kind of thing. And in one of the meeting rooms, they have like a little comic book convention kind of thing. But basically, it's just vendors come and bring their comics up, and just sell them, really. And that's when I saw this comic, and I don't know what it regularly goes for, but I saw about for $80, which is, well, in comic book standards, which it's pretty okay, for for an issue kind of like this, it's pretty okay. So yeah, that's kind of it. That's all I have for this one. Okay, next we have Weird Mystery number 2. This is, it's Weird Mystery, but, so, what was actually cool about this one, so there's 2 stories in here, and, I was going to say there's 2 stories in here, but I surprisingly got this one out of the case, for only $10 out of the case, and I'm like, why is this in the case, but not this one? I have no idea. But, so yeah, I got this out of the case, and, the only reason why I got it, because, I'm a huge history buff, but what got me started as a history buff was Titanic. That was, my first, thing I really studied and stuff. So, when I saw this, oh, it's a Titanic, and just what I'm saying, Titanic didn't have red smokestacks. It had a yellow line up there. That does not look anything like Titanic. And Titanic only had 3 propellers, one up there that should have been red, but the propeller should have been yellow. See? Titanic over here. And, I like this cover a lot. It's one of my favorite ones. It's just the smoke, and it was the skull, the Grim Reaper kind of thing. Skeleton. I thought it was pretty cool. So when I opened it up, I'm like, geez, this art looks very familiar, kind of thing, So I kept flipping, and I'm like, wait a minute, no way. And then I saw this. I'm like, so I guess, I've always known that Jack Kirby worked for DC for a little while, because after he left Marvel, And well, over at DC, he did the Commandy series. He did the New Gods, which is like Darkseid and stuff. And I guess he did this. But what is also kind of funny is this has also been one. This comic has also been on one of our reviews too. It's Commandy #1, which, as I said, has been in our reviews too. And I think I don't remember which episode it was. I want to say it was episode. No, it's the one that has Giant Man as the thumbnail. It's that Giant Man, with the eraser. Is that number 50 something? Yep, and that's the one with the Commandy in it. And then also has an ad for Swamp Thing #1, which I was not a big Swamp Thing fan. But whoa, okay, what a scam. Okay, so this was actually a good story. This was really good. And I'm saying that's like one of the worst drawings of Titanic I've ever seen, because like yellow smokes, what I don't get is like everyone knows what it looks like. There's pictures of it, there's descriptions of it, there's hundreds of books of it, but they still can't get the drawings right. Okay, it's like, plus the promenade deck should have had little windows in it. Yeah, I can just go on and on kind of thing. So I'm a Titanic, but so this is a weird story, and it was really good. So it's about this kid who survives the Titanic, but his dad dies. But before his dad dies, he's like, stay away from water because like my grandfather died, and people, stuff like, my grandfather died and his dad died before that, and so then later he becomes a famous director kind of thing. And, I guess, after a couple incidents with water, like he's ice skating and he fell through 6-inch thick ice. And then he almost drowned once. And so then he just kind of says, I'm done with water. Until one day he needs to go over the Atlantic to film one of his movies. So he takes a plane over because, anyways, his plane travel is the safest kind of travel, blah, blah, blah. Only for the plane to get struck by lightning. And as he falls down, I'm not going to spoil the end for you, but he finds an ice pick on and has the life preserver on Miss Titanic and gets saved. And I'm not going to spoil the end for you. So, this is this is one of my favorite comic books that I've reviewed and read, and I'm giving this a 5-star review. Yeah, I'm sorry I kind of went off on it, because I'm a Titaniac, and I'm like, yay, Titanic comic book. But, so now this is Mystery in Space, number 75. This is a reprint, you can tell, because it says $4, and this is, what's $4, and it's rated teen. I don't know why it's rated teen. You think it was being E for everybody, but no. So this is about Adam Strange, and so this is when kind of Adam Strange, when he helps the Justice League fight this alien who's now like unstoppable kind of thing, but beats him, But the big thing, I think, the reason why this is worth so much is that, the original is worth so much, is because, at the end, the Justice League, like, hey, if you want, we'll send you an application to join. So, yeah, that's what I think. It's worth so much, because if I'm trying to remember if Adam Strange does join. I think he does, eventually. But, yeah, so I give this one a, the thing with this one was, it didn't really get good until the end. Like, it really kept dragging on, kind of thing. It was, like, super long and stuff. So, I would give this, like, a 4-star review. Like, the only bad thing I have to say about this, like, it just kept dragging on, kind of thing, until the action started picking up at the end. But, yeah. Next we have the Wonder Twins, number 5. Why I have the Wonder Twins is basically because, well, when I was little, my dad would show me the Super Friends cartoons, and one of my favorite people on there was the Wonder Twins, mostly because they had Gleek. That's the pet monkey Gleek, and that's pretty much the only reason why I like them a lot. And so when they came out with the comic book series, I'm like, yes. And so I read it, and it's really good. They just stopped it after a year. And I highly recommend it. It's funny, and it's really, it's clever, it's funny, there's humor, and yeah, it's really good. So next we have Fantastic Four. So this is True Believers. And what True Believers is, it is a Marvel thing, which they go and reprint old comic books only for $1. DC does the same, but you know, and I think I reviewed a couple of DC's reprints on here. So this is an okay comic. I'll give it a 4. It was actually good. But it's just, I'm not a big Fantastic Four guy, and then once you kind of get into all the space stuff, to me it gets kind of weird. Don't really understand it that much. So, but this is a good comic book. I kind of got what was going on, but it wasn't, amazing as, the other ones that I've done 5s for. But, so what True Believers is, it's a dollar comic, and Marvel usually does it to promote, its movies. So, when the Black Widow movie comes out later this year, I bet Marvel's is going to come out with a whole bunch of dollar Black Widow comics, of reprints of her. And then when Ant-Man came out a couple years ago, Ant-Man and Wasp, they had a whole bunch of Ant-Man and Wasp comics come out. So yeah. So and then they use it to promote the graphic novels, Marvel Knights. When that came out, they had a whole bunch Daredevil, Nova, and stuff like that. And then they the latest one was the Criminally Insane one, and we reviewed a whole bunch of those on here. And so basically they always used to promote this graphic novels and stuff. So yeah, so this is a reprint. This is Detective Comics number 38, the first appearance of Robin. This is probably the longest comic book I've ever read in my life. There's almost 8 stories in here, and it was nuts. It just kept dragging and dragging on. And, well, the Robin story was good. And they had some other good stories in there. One was actually written by the creator of Superman. So, yeah. So I'll give this comic book a 3. It was pretty okay. But the main story of Batman was really good. So, yeah. So now this is a reprint of Thor. This is number 229. And in this, Thor meets Hercules, but some stuff happens. So this is actually pretty okay. I'll give it a 3. It's the thing with Marvel Comics. At this time, you had to buy 10 different comics to kind of see, to get the storyline kind of thing going. And you really need to read what happened before and stuff to get what's going on, because a lot of stuff goes on in Marvel Comics kind of thing. Okay, so here's the last one. So this was actually in another comic book review, but my mom finished it, so I think it's actually the thumbnail for one. So in this this is actually a good storyline. So number 293 is also a good one to get. I do have that one, and I think it has been reviewed on here once. And so Batman has been killed, and now all the villains are trying to figure out who did it, because all these people are coming forward saying I did it. It should be, it should be for Lex Luthor said I killed Superman and did his story. Now this one is how Joker killed Batman. kind of thing. But yeah, so it's really good, and I highly recommend you get this. And I'll give this a 5. So if you like the video, please leave a like and subscribe. If you have any comments, complaints, questions, answers to questions, if there's any comments, put them in the comments below. I read them all, respond to them all. And I kind of want to know from now on, like, what is your favorite comic book I reviewed in this video? And I'm not including the ones that we talked about in the beginning, the top 10s. These are the ones I reviewed and talked about. What's your favorite one out of all of them? And if you have any cool facts about them that I don't know, you can put them down in the comments below too, because I like cool facts and stuff. So, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!